Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Devotional number 2 in the book of Galatians. Last Thursday, we were in Galatians 1 through 9, and we saw Paul start off his letter very strongly to that church, basically saying that they had left their first love and that they had rejected the truth of the gospel. Something that was probably pretty hard for these people to hear, the ones who were at the church that Paul had founded. And they had some criticisms against Paul, saying that basically he was being too harsh against them. And Paul responds to them in verse 10. He says, "For am I now trying to persuade people or God? Or am I striving to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." Throughout Paul's letters, he had an uncompromising view of the gospel. He said in another letter that his definition of his ministry was to preach Jesus Christ and Him crucified. And that might sound simple, but it is also the thing that is most difficult for people around the world to hear, that they are sinners in need of a Savior. And Paul was committed to that. If he was focused on trying to make people happy and be a people pleaser, he probably would have made the gospel a lot easier to hear. And it probably wouldn't involved a whole bunch of people admitting that they needed a Savior. Around the world today, and for you and I, it can sometimes be hard to recognize that we're in need of a Savior too. It's hard to admit that we're sinners and that we've messed up, and as Romans 3:23 says, that we've all fallen short of God's glory. But as Paul says, it is Jesus Christ and Him crucified. Not only is that the thing that is somewhat difficult to hear, because it means we've failed, but it's also the thing that brings life and it brings joy to our lives because we know that through Christ we've been saved. Paul wasn't trying to serve the people, he was serving God. And though his words might have been harsh, it's just what they needed to hear. And for us today, it might mean focusing a little bit more on our relationship with God and how thankful we can be that He has died for us. So, hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you on Thursday.